Hello and welcome to Stuff Every Queer Kid Should Know, the survival guide for late adolescents, but also Livermore, California.
Oh, okay, there it is.
I'm Max Emerson, a writer and performer leveraging social media to create independent narratives. Similar to my other endeavors, this podcast is designed to provide vital resources, role models, and tools that enhance your well-being, foster connections, and support personal growth from late adolescence onward. Welcome back to another episode. Today's guest is the illustrious Brandon Rogers. Hi, Brandon.
And hello, and it's me. I'm Brandon Rogers, and I make YouTube.
Brandon is here to talk about queer villainy.
Yes, I love being gay, love doing crimes.
Brandon Rogers is a Phil-Am creator, comedian, and personality with a fan base of over 10 million followers across platforms. Yes, that's a teleprompter. He is best known for his cavalcade of characters he portrays on his YouTube channel. Brandon was named an inaugural New Face Creator 2017 at the prestigious Just for Laughs Festival in Montreal. And the following year, he took home a Streamy Award for Best Comedy Channel. In 2019, Rogers co-hosted the 9th Annual Streamy Awards, where he had several nominations and ultimately won Best Scripted Series for his web series, Blame the Hero. He's basically Simone Biles, but for like weird sketch YouTube comedy. Brandon is widely known for his work as a writer and a voice actor for the popular animated series Helluva, which has amassed a rabid and loyal following, with the episodes averaging over 30 million views each.
I love the rabid. Oh, yeah, they are kind of rabid, yeah. But I'm a little rabid too. It's okay.
Yeah, apparently, so if the rabies goes too far, you actually can't cure it.
Yeah, no, I was born with it.
Oh.
So there is no cure, but there's also no death. I just get to live with it. It's my X-Man power.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'll make sure you stay hydrated.
And make sure I don't bite.
Well, I prepared a rapid-fire series of questions for my audience to get to know you better.
Okay.
It's called Who the Hell Are You?
Oh, I'll tell them.
Ready?
All right, here we go.
What's your name?
Brandon.
Zodiac sign.
Leo.
What are you an expert in?
Omelets.
Omelets.
I can make a good one.
How do you identify in the gender and sexuality spectrum today?
Gender, gay, gayer, and he.
What is your most favorite animal?
I gotta love an octopus.
Least favorite animal?
I don't trust alligators because they might be crocodiles and I don't know the difference.
Yeah, I respect that. Last thing you ate?
Last thing I ate was a fucking ass.
Last thing you ate?
Whose was it?
I'm not going to tell you whose ass it was.
All right,
I'm not going
fine.
to tell you what color it was either.
How many caffeinated drinks do you have in a day?
This is my third one.
What is your beverage of choice across all beverage spectrums?
Coffee and marijuana.
Sure. Biggest pet peeve?
Oh my God, people who don't know what the fuck they want when they get to the front of the line. I wish them all to go to hell. There's a special place in hell reserved for those cocksuckers. Anyways,
They're always traffic oriented.
I hate them. Yeah, they're all traffic. I hate traffic.
Dream vacation destination?
God, I want to go to Catalina Island. I know we can all see it. I know it's right the fuck there. I've never been to that.
I can fly you there. I have a pilot's license.
Oh, yeah, you got a pilot's license.
Will you come with me?
Yeah. Well, I just
Would you
wanna
fly
get
with
there.
me?
I'm a little scared because I've seen a lot of plane crashes. Instagram has been referring me so many deaths. You're getting deaths, people crashing cars where you know they couldn't have survived that shit. I've seen so many little planes like yours go down and they never survive it.
You could jump out like at the last minute is kind of like the fantasy I have. Because a lot of times you're only going like 60 miles an hour.
Yeah, jump out and then have my body hit the fucking field and then my clothes come ripping off and then I'm naked and thrown into a fucking daycare or something. No, thank you. That's not where I want to be found.
Fair enough. I don't get anything violent on my Instagram. In fact, everything I post gets reported for like inciting violence or something, even if it's just the most benign
Well, we
thing.
did do a video where I ate your fucking dog.
That was YouTube.
Oh. Well,
Yeah,
we
YouTube
posted
doesn't
it
give
to
a shit.
Instagram.
Oh, yeah. But you
It's
didn't like kill him on
It's all
camera.
one melting pot. You post something somewhere, it gets everywhere.
Back to the rapid fire.
Yeah.
What is your favorite sport or game?
I don't like sports. I don't support them.
Games?
Lying.
Love it. What is your favorite thing about queer bars?
Oh, the queers.
On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being a virtual hellscape and 10 being an absolute utopia, how are things looking for queer people in America today?
Oh, shit. Well, I would say a 1.
Okay.
But also sometimes a 10. I don't know. In June, it feels like a 10. Hey, you know what? Move I'm Gay would not have gone viral about 20 years ago. So I'm very thankful that we live in a world where that thing can become a meme.
Well, there is a world where Move I'm Gay could have gotten you killed.
There still is a world today. I'm just not living physically there. I'm lucky to live in LA right now, where I think being gay is the cool thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's somewhat of a privilege at this point. What was the last item you misplaced?
Oh my God, my sanity.
Where was it?
If I had told you, it wouldn't be fucking misplaced, asshole.
What was the last thing you were super mad about?
This,
What was the last thing that made you cry?
the last thing that made me cry?
Yeah.
Jesus
You can
fucking
pass, bro. You can
Christ.
pass. It's fine.
Oh, I could have passed so many of these.
Yeah.
Well, now you got me on. What was the last thing that made me cry? Last time I cooked, it was 3 years ago. It involved onions.
What is the location of the worst date you've ever had?
Oh my God. The worst date I've ever had, probably at my mom's house.
We'll just leave it right there. Thank you so much. That was the rapid fire
All
questions.
right, here we go. I got
Mhm.
rapid something.
It's going to be 2 weeks you're out of the game. Hey guys, let's talk about leveling up your wellness game with Black Lotus Shilajit. If you haven't heard of Shilajit, it's an ancient natural substance found in mountain rocks that's packed with over 80 minerals. It's known for boosting energy, stamina, and overall well-being, and Black Lotus offers it in its purest, rawest form. Unlike other brands, Black Lotus sources their Shilajit from pristine Altai mountains, not the polluted Himalayas, so you're getting a clean, powerful product that's perfect for your body. Their Shilajit is processed with only water and dried in the sun, no chemicals, no shortcuts, plus it's packed with premium Miran glass bottles, not plastic, so it stays fresh and potent. And for all of you eco-conscious people out there, they use sustainable packaging and even source their honey from ethical local beekeepers. They do full lab testing for metals and mold, and everything is packed by their own team, no third parties involved. You're getting top quality, undiluted Shilajit at every step. The best part, it's super affordable. A lot of Shilajit companies are out here charging way too much for watered-down, low-quality products, but Black Lotus keeps it real. You get premium, effective Shilajit without breaking the bank. And they've been in the holistic health game for over 20 years, so they know what they're doing. Right now, use code MAX for 15% off your first order at blacklotusshilajit.com. Shilajit is spelled Shilajit. You can go to the link in the show notes as well. You're going to want this in your routine. Stuff Every Queer Kid Should Know is brought to you by Max Emerson's Patreon. Do you ever feel like daily Instagram updates from your favorite influencers just aren't enough? Are you curious what the VIP section of social media is like? Well, buckle up because Max Emerson's Patreon page is here to rescue you from the mundane. Get ready for exclusive access to Max's wild adventures, behind-the-scenes shenanigans, and a smorgasbord of engaging content that you won't find anywhere else. From sneak peeks to surprise gifts to mentions in the credits of videos and podcasts, Max's Patreon is the ultimate way to support independent queer storytelling. So what are you waiting for? Join today and let's make the internet a little more colorful, one Patreon pledge at a time. Patreon.com/Maxisms.
Yeah.
We're going to keep getting to know you better, talking more specifically about kind of the things you're working on and how you went from a queer kid in Central California to the internet and general sensation that you are today. When your videos exploded like a glitter bomb on Vine, how did suddenly becoming internet famous warp your career plans?
I've always wanted that. That was always the goal. At that time I had been spending about 10 years making YouTube videos, trying to make a name for myself in comedy on the internet, and it happened. And so it wasn't like, I mean, yeah, my life changed. I was able to quit my day job. I was able to do it full time. That obviously was a big difference. It's nice to have your hobby be the one thing you have to worry about. That
Yeah.
is nice. And then you get paid for it, which is even nicer. But yeah, it wasn't a shock to me. A lot of people say, "Oh my God, and I got famous. Wow, it was crazy." It's like, no, that was always the fucking goal. Like I
Yeah.
always wanted that, right? And then it happened. So it's not like I was surprised. To an extent, yeah, you are kind of shocked. I don't think anyone's ever truly expecting the time and place that you become famous. So there's always like a,
Well, and also, where's the bar, right? Because the bar kind of always seems like it's moving.
yeah, like how do you know when I've made it? I guess there's certain milestones where you feel like you've made it. I think for me, the milestone, if I can recall any one time where I felt like I've made it, I had a billboards down Hollywood. I had a show called Magic Funhouse, and for our second season, they put billboards down Hollywood Boulevard, and seeing, it was like a 4-story vertical one with my face, and I just remember that was the moment where I felt like, okay, now I'm at a different.
No
you know,
way.
And it was only a year and a half before that I was working a full-time job in a cubicle. So like
Whoa.
the
That's so
turnaround was
fast.
very steep. Yeah.
You mentioned your hobby becoming your full-time job, and I want to touch on that later because I feel like when a lot of people do that, there's that expression, you do what you love, you no longer love what you do. And I feel like you are the number one person who's completely, seemingly from my perspective, impervious to that sort of burnout.
I'm
You
glad
are
you
just an
mentioned that because
unstoppable force.
this year in particular, that's been a big theme. I'm in my mid-30s. We're in our mid-30s.
We are.
And I'm noticing at our age, a lot of people, I have a lot of friends who work in entertainment, and I am noticing a sense of, I don't want to say burnout or I don't want to say apathy, but there is a sense of like,
Malaise.
yeah, it's interesting that we're kind of touching in that area because it is something I do feel like I haven't really talked about it even like with my friends. It is something interesting because I'm I got into this industry in my 20s when everyone and I was just at a premiere last night and most of the influencers there were in their 20s and they're just so full of life and they're so excited and
There's just like bouncing circles around you and you're like, all right.
and most people who have done it for at least 10 years or longer, if you see them, I don't want to say that they're less happy to be there, but there is a sense of they're not as much trying to put on a version of themselves that impresses other people. And you can kind of tell that with people in their 20s or younger. I'm like, this is probably your second or third premiere. You're probably a year or so into the game and you're very excited. But for me, the goal is not to ever, like I want that energy. I think I still have it, honestly. I get so excited when I go to events like that. But I'm at the age where I'm seeing people our age, mid-30s, or even a bit younger, start to get a bit bored or start to get a bit used to it. Or
well, you also just realize that showing up at a premiere takes your energy, and you have to like, it's not the renewable, boundless resource that it once was, and you now have to just be more conservative about that. Which also, I think when people read that on you, like in acting class, they always talk about like high status is the character that moves less and doesn't need to do as much because the things that they do hold more power. So I think it's a combination of reserving parts of yourself so that you can do all the things that you want to do, but also just knowing your power and not just shooting energy off in every direction to see what bounce back. You no longer have to use echolocation.
I know.
You know what works.
I'm still in that phase and it's exhausting because I see people much younger than me in that phase and I'm still in that phase. And it's just like, yes, you say yes to everything and you're so excited for life. And, there's a sense of like, we live in one of the most opportune cities in the world. We're in an open world map here. GTA 5, I was playing that one day and I was like, wow, this map is so impressive. And I'm like, this is just the real one. I'm in it. I
always just stole aircrafts.
You stole aircraft?
Like helicopters and stuff. I didn't really do any of the missions. I just stole things and flew around.
I would get dark. I would go to places, either the Walk of Fame or the Santa Monica Pier, and I'd just make a lot of money. You could just mow them down. Anyway,
school shooter energy.
Yeah. I did it all. I'm very good aim. But I love LA, and I've been traveling so much in these last 3 years. And the more I travel, you travel a lot too. But you go to places for enjoy. I go to places for work. The thing is, no matter where you go,
is it a lot of the same places that you end up going to?
I go to all of the major domestic cities in the U.S. and then maybe London.
The tour
sometimes.
spots.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm going to Alabama soon.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that actually kind of makes sense.
I go everywhere. North, south, east, west. I am a horror. The thing is, the kind of comedy I do doesn't come with a huge agenda. It has a lot of queer characters, but it's not about the fact that they're queer. And I'm sorry, this is a tangent, but I have to. There are very few roles for queer people still to where it's not about their fucking struggle or their backstory, or they have to be the smartest person in the room. Or anytime a gay person shows up, I'm either like, they're not going to die, or if they do die, if it's going to be earned, they're going to they have to be a smart person or say something witty or clever. And then
or they should go murder a bunch of people. Like it should be a combination.
Well, I think that there should be more characters that are queer, and it's just they're queer and it's not talked about. They just happen to be queer. So a lot of the stuff that I do,
it's not about the struggle.
Well, it appeals to the whole country because I think people who are conservative or liberal, they watch the stuff and we're not giving anyone a message in any way. These just happen to be queer characters that have very relatable problems, but it's not about any form of them being different in any way. It's not like that's their highlighting factor. So
it's less teaching and preaching and more just about running amok and having a good time and living your life and having those experiences and just telling stories.
I think there's enough
kind of
teaching.
the next level beyond the struggle story, because that's just one type of story.
Every time I turn on whatever the fuck app, I'm being told what to like, what to believe, what to care about, there's just enough of that in this world. I'm not trying to make anything that I'm associated with as a writer to be trying to convince anyone of anything other than the fact that anyone can be equally funny.
If you're like me, you want to fuel your body with the best possible ingredients, whether you're working out, staying active, or just looking to maintain a healthy lifestyle. That's why I'm excited to share with you Peori's Whey Protein. It's not just any protein powder. It's a game changer. Peoria's whey protein is sourced from grass-fed cows, ensuring that you're getting a clean, pure, and high-quality protein. What sets this protein powder apart is its simplicity and commitment to quality. There are no artificial sweeteners, fillers, or unnecessary additives, just pure protein goodness with a delicious natural bourbon vanilla flavor. Plus, it's sweetened with organic coconut sugar, so it tastes amazing without all the junk. Whether you're mixing it into your morning smoothies or shaking it up post-workout, Peori Protein Powder delivers 21 grams of protein per serving, helping to support muscle recovery, energy levels, and overall wellness. And for those of us who care about where our food comes from, it's great to know that Peori's Whey is certified by the Clean Label Project, ensuring it's free from harmful contaminants like heavy metals and pesticides. Ready to elevate your protein game? Head over to Peori.com and use my promo code MaxEmerson. That's Peori.com/MaxEmerson. Don't mess out. Head to Peori.com/MaxEmerson and use promo code MaxEmerson today. Ever wonder how your daily habits like your meals, sleep, or stress impact your health? NutriSense offers a way to take the guesswork out of the wellness journey. For many people, managing health can feel like a shot in the dark. They're trying different diets, workouts, and routines, but without the right information, it's hard to know what's truly working. That is where NutriSense comes in. NutriSense isn't just another health trend. It's a comprehensive program that pairs real-time data from a continuous glucose monitor with one-on-one personalized coaching from expert nutritionists. This combination helps users understand how their bodies respond to food, exercise, sleep, and stress, giving them the insights they need to make informed decisions about their health. What sets NutriSense apart is its unique approach to personalized health. While other programs might offer generic advice, NutriSense tailors its advice based on your unique data. With the support of a board-certified nutritionist, users can receive customized recommendations that align with their specific health goals, making it easier to achieve lasting results. If you're ready to take control of your health, visit nutrisense.io/MaxEmerson to get $50 off your first month. That is nutrisense.io/MaxEmerson. Or you can click on the link in the notes and use my special code, MaxEmerson, for an exclusive $50 discount. Take the first step towards better health with NutriSense today.
To answer your question, the people in the South have me north, like everywhere, and there isn't really a place in this country that I've felt like there's in a region where I'm like, oh, my videos don't do as well here. I think everyone kind of likes shitty dialogue and vile characters and
Being foul and surprising. I was surprised when you said that a lot of your following was like military base
oh yeah, a
people.
lot of
I
military.
thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I didn't. I didn't know that.
You're our red state whisperer.
Oh my God! No,
Because you're not trying to prove anything.
I'm not trying to prove it. I just think
enjoying yourself.
Yeah, and also, I have a lot of military in my family too, and it is cool because they could very easily have not been proud of what I do and not talk about it, but it is an honor when I hear them brag about it to their friends, or my dad brags about me to his coworkers, my mom to my whole family.
My little brother loves you, and that's always like the badge of something. Like, it's always a good indicator when like my brothers like something or if my mom likes something. Like
damn.
Waltz, the VP nominee, was my mom's favorite all along. Oh, that's the sign. If my mom likes him, he's got the. So I feel like if my little brother likes something, it's got that like universal young male demo.
Damn. Is he straight?
He's very straight.
Okay, well, great. So see, yeah, straight people. I'm just happy that I live in a world where I can have queer characters be accepted by everyone.
Yep.
That's a big thing, because growing up, I wasn't. I grew up,
Were you picked on?
Of course I was. Fat, brown, queer, in a straight, white, affluent city. I didn't fit in anywhere. And yet I grew up with shows like Mad TV, Power Rangers, all these shows with casts that not just had diversity, but celebrated diversity. And I kind of, these shows were my escape, because I go back to school, everyone was white and straight, and they all kind of thought the same, and they all kind of were cut from the same cloth.
Which is wild, because like they're totally at the lunch table quoting all of those shows. Like they're kind of, I don't want to say appropriating that culture, but they're drawing from all those things.
Right. I knew the shows were funny. I knew that I was living in a place where it wasn't the shows I was watching. I knew that there was a place where those shows existed, but I wasn't living there. And I knew that, I'm going to take these because I hear these. But I knew that one day I would live in a place where I not necessarily a time period where I was more tolerated. If I knew that then, I would have been gay from the start. No, I was closeted for a long time. But I knew that there'd be a
Did
day.
you move out and then come out?
Yeah.
I did the same, yeah.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Were your parents surprised when you came out, or was it like a
No, they
someone lost
kind
20
of knew the
bucks?
whole time, and I had a really cathartic, like, they've apologized. They feel terrible that, like, my parents feel like it's their fault that I didn't come out. I think
Oh,
they
okay.
blame themselves for creating an environment, and it's like, you didn't, society did. Like, my
Mm.
parents are the nicest, sweetest, most inclusive people. It wasn't that they were just products of and it wasn't even, they weren't even the reason I didn't come out. And I feel
Yeah.
bad they feel that way. It was just the world we lived in. If I came out in my school, I would have lost so many friends. I wouldn't have been allowed to hang out with them. A lot of my friends were straight male
Whoa.
friends. Their parents wouldn't have let me hang out with them anymore. I was given rides home from high school by my girlfriend's dad, who would listen to a Christian radio, and I'd have to hear about how, like, gay it was a choice, and he would, like, be like,
Ugh.
right, and I'd have to be like,
Ugh.
oh yeah, totally, yeah, they choose that shit. Like, no one's choosing to
Because it just sounds like so much fun.
because it
I
sounds
mean,
like
there's
being bullied
I
sounds
see
like
the
a
argument.
hoot. Yeah,
Not the
no.
bullying part, but like the actual being an adult gay person.
Well, being gay
Pretty
is
fucking
fun, yeah,
Yeah.
but he had no idea. He had a fucking wife and kid.
Maybe it
Anyway.
sounded like fun to him. Both of my brothers accused me, since like we all kind of agree we're in a simulation. They have repeatedly accused
Jesus
me.
Christ, you're the third fucking person
Yeah, no, I mean, no,
to
we
talk to me about. No, but
I try not to call it out too much, because if you call it out more
creeping
than
me
3
out.
times in a day, it will slap you down. They're like, oh, you think this is fake? Here's a challenge. So you'll like roll your ankle or something. And things will hurt.
I looked up simulation theory recently, and then I had a really bad like stomach cramp, and then I thought, like, really, there's a program that's just like specific for me to feel a stomach cramp
Yeah, that's
right
the
now?
spicy meter,
Like,
because you need contrast.
I just feel like we have so many fucking uncomfortable things about our body. It's like, are you telling me those are all specific programs? Someone programmed my fucking headache this
Yeah.
morning.
It was designed based on the human experience, because a human brain doesn't know how to experience anything other than a human life.
When I get out of my jelly cocoon, I'm gonna find out whoever's fucking giving me headaches, and I'm
I
gonna
hate to break it to you, I'm pretty
give
sure
them a
someone's
headache.
putting monthly payments into your account to keep this going for you.
Yeah, well,
I
that
think this is
person-
as good as it gets for you.
that person's husband's about to get fucked.
Well, my brothers have accused me of hacking the simulation, so I could see why they think it's a choice.
You brothers, how many siblings are you from?
My dad actually has 7 kids, 6 boys and a lesbian.
Your dad, I don't know much about him, but I know he gets horny. Holy shit.
He had a lot to prove, yeah. Well, I have 2 full brothers. They're 1 a year older and 1 a year
Oh,
younger.
Annie's a slut. Okay.
Yeah, 3. Both my parents have been married 3 times each. My dad's on his 4th.
God. Does he like the routine?
Um,
At this point, just be a bachelor. Just fuck whoever you want at this point. You're gonna leave
I
this one.
think he liked the girlfriend experience. Like, I think he likes being taken care of.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
I'm sorry if we like your dad, but I know about 1,000 of those fuckers, and that's toxic behavior.
Yeah,
Anyway,
no, he's 82 from South Carolina.
he's 80
There's-
fucking too.
Yeah, but you know,
Oh,
like
and
he's one of those people. It's very much
How good is that dick or that ass? I'm not judging what he's into, but how fucking 80? And he's just, I think I'll move. I think I'll have another girlfriend.
Good for him,
good
right?
for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, good for him. No,
I think considering like the time and place where he came from, like he did get to a point where I feel like he has the views of like a 60-year-old from maybe North Carolina. So like, you know, I would say for the context, he's great. Like my oldest sister, the one sister is a lesbian. She's 60 something. They see each other every single day. Like
I love lesbians so
he's
much.
great. He's got these moments. He's also got dementia. Don't get me wrong, but he's got these moments. I don't know if I shared this with you before, but when I told him that we were going to adopt, like when we had made that decision, he was having a good day. He was with it, and he got all moony, and he like after dinner, he kind of like looked at me. He's like, you know what, Max? I think or Kick. He calls me Kick. I think it's great that you're adopting. I think, and he like leans in real close, kind of conspiratorial.
Oh shit.
I think you should adopt a couple of black babies. And I said, well, okay, cool. Why? He said, well, I think that if you raise them right and treat them well, I don't think they're going to be that different from the rest of us. And you know, like, God bless. So close.
It was there in the first half. He could have landed it.
You know, it's an 82-year-old man from South Carolina questioning his eugenic upbringing. You know, it's good. It's good.
It sounds like his heart is in the right place.
He's never going to listen to this podcast, so it's fine.
He's never going to listen.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's fine. But it sounds like his heart is in the right place, but damn, there's a thing called tact. And you sometimes can cook a certain meal, but you don't know how that person's going to digest it.
Yeah. Well, he was like an oral surgeon, and I feel like that type of like surgeons in general are like always like a little bit.
Surgeons and engineers, they're a little
spicy. Yeah, they're not like. I think that's why he likes having like a wife or a partner at all times, is someone to be like, hey, like I'm going to deal with the people now. But let's talk about your dad though, because I feel like there's some
I
parallels
don't want to
here.
piss off any surgeons because I might have to get that one.
Mm.
I don't piss off surgeons. I don't piss off cooks. I don't piss off lawyers, and I don't piss off accountants.
You know, I don't think I've seen any of your
You don't
characters be
want
any of those things.
You do exactly. Oh, and I had a robot character,
Wow.
but nowadays
That's
I got to
really
stop
insightful.
playing robots.
Yeah. Do you say thank you? Do you say thank you to Siri?
Thank you. Can I have another? Yeah. Let's do that. Can I have directions again, Siri? That was so nice.
Start calling it.
Oh my God.
So with your dad's support, including like letting you use his works film studio when you were starting out, how did that kind of shape your early
remember
creativity?
That? Did I tell you that story, or did you hear that in an interview? What did you?
I
know that?
remember it, but our producers are.
Oh,
I think she used to work for like the CIA or something.
Oh,
like she
nice.
gets
Yeah,
everything.
my first video. I haven't told many people that story, but my dad had a green screen studio, and this is in the VHS era.
Mhm.
And we made I think it was like a 10-minute little short, and we put it on VHS. I had to have been 11 or something like that.
Yeah.
And it was life changing. I mean, there are certain moments in your life where you try something for the first time that you will inevitably do many times because you
Yeah.
love it. And you always remember that first. I remember the first time I put on eyeliner. I remember the first time I got the shit kicked out of me. I remember the first time what were we just talking about?
Your dad's studio. But
Made
I
a
know what you're
video.
talking about. It's like that when your life flashes before your eyes, that's going to be in the montage. I think of like
exactly.
the end of Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd, where they go through those lists of things.
I've only heard the album. Oh wait,
Yeah.
in the album. Oh,
At the
I've only
end of
heard
the-
the hits.
Okay, well, at the end of the album, there's like this kind of like dreamy montage sequence. I think he's like in like the story
It's a great
of it.
album. I've heard like 5 tracks from it.
Okay.
I haven't heard this one, but sorry.
It was
go
like
ahead.
one of the only CDs in my car growing up, so I've heard it 1,000 times. But it goes through all of like and all that you love and all that you hate and everyone you fight, and it's like it goes through all of those things, and it like flashes for everyone listening. Kind of it flashes to the thing you're describing as like each of those first. It doesn't say anything about eyeliner, but that's its own story.
You know, I wonder what that's going to be. I try and make my life as much of a replayable piece of art as I can because, yeah, I don't want to be in a bad mood when this shit flashes before my eyes. That's my last memory. I try and enjoy every day. Literally, I try and, because also my dementia runs in my family like a goddamn athlete. And at this point, I've already accepted that the odds are I'm going to get it. And it's not terrible for
Or it might already be kicking in ways that you're not sure of yet.
Oh my God. Don't
When you get
start.
a long-term partner, they will be very happy to point it out.
Oh my God. Well, I'm not going to do that and fuck off. But no, it doesn't ever start in anyone in my family until they're well into like their 60s or so. That's when you start to see the signs of it. But by then, I don't want a partner, but I will have probably a nurse or some kind of assistant slave. Like I can't, not a slave. I said, well, I will because I pay people. I don't. YouTubers are known for not paying people. I very much will be paying whoever. Well, if I'm still a YouTuber, then who knows. But I will be very much paying whoever is around me then good money to tell me if I'm losing my memory.
I respect that. I almost named this podcast Goldfish Brain.
Jesus Christ.
Because it's just bliss and embracing it sometimes.
Well, you know I smoke weed, so I already have a goldfish brain.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have very good memory with certain things. It's weird. I can remember certain moments, like I can just replay them in my head. I heard that when you create a memory, your brain releases some kind of fluid. Is that true? Like a stamp of some kind of
Like an oxytocin or something.
Is that what it is?
of
Anyways,
those.
like when you really remember something, that part of your brain was secreting a lot of fluid. Does that sound familiar at all?
I tend to get like a feeling of like deja vu sometimes when something really like big is happening. It's this feeling that I've been there before, and I guess it's that feeling that like, oh, I'm going to look back on this in the future and think about it, and it's almost like I've connected to that time in the future where I thought back to this moment, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I wonder that too. Like the theory that like all time is like everything's happened and everything that already like everything's just now and we're just seeing it from beginning to end. But yeah, who knows? I don't know. Time gets crazy with me. You know, Paulette, the woman that I work with in my videos, yeah, she knows all about quantum shit and she does lectures on it. That's when I met her. I met her. I don't know if she still. I'm sure she still does.
She's amazing.
Yeah, she knows so much about that shit. And oh my God, I've been going down this rabbit hole of simulation theory and double slit. You know the double slit thing.
No, is that like an optical illusion trick thing?
Have you anyone heard of the now this shit creeps me out. They did this theory, and I'm butchering it. People watching that, I'm fucking butchering this, but they
They
wanted
can
to
Google
test
it.
light, how light emits. This is a long time ago. And so
Mhm.
they emitted light through a singular slit. They wanted to see if it moved in particles or wave or
Sure.
something like that. And so they noticed it like hit, and correct me if I get to a wrong point, but like they noticed, okay, it works like, no, it was two slits. So when the particles went through, it looked, it looked like particles when it hit the backboard, right?
Yeah.
But then when they weren't watching it,
Mhm.
it came out as waves. Like it formed waves when it came out of the two slits. Like,
Oh.
and you can YouTube this and watch it. It'll explain a lot better than what I'm doing. But basically, what the theory proved is that matter in this universe, or things know when they're being observed. Like just the
Oh,
mere
like the
act.
electron thing, in order to see it, you can't, it moves.
Well, like it just things are, like simply by observing something, it alters its physical being.
That explains a lot.
And a lot of it like leads into the simulation theory of like, well, oh God, now I feel like I am not condoning any of this. I'm not endorsing any of this, but it's fucking scary and fascinating. Anyways,
It's a good rabbit hole to get into.
here's the thing.
Yeah.
If we are in a simulation, I can't control it. And it's been this all I've known. So really it's like I'm on the ship, the train's left the station. If I learn a truth about this reality that I don't like, it doesn't change the things that have happened. Well, maybe those memories are a simulation.
Yeah, right. It could be, none of it could have ever actually happened, and it's been
Stay out of my
uploaded.
fucking head, everyone.
Yeah, yeah. Let's go back down some rabbit holes, specifically like when we click to your YouTube page and go back years and years and years, because I feel like we can just get lost in your content for days and days and days. Can you tell me about Hot Banana Stud from
Oh
back
my
in
God.
2006?
I wanted to do a fake porn character, I think. It was in high school at the time. I made it in my high school library, and I wanted to play just one singular character, and I think it was like some kind of like adult film star or something like that. And so that was the
Mhm.
name. But then I since have tried to I
Like a
mean, like
Dirk
I
Diggler
swam
type
so
of.
far away in the opposite direction after I realized I wanted to play other characters. But then you were glued to that username for so long. It wasn't until
Oh,
way
okay.
later that you can alter.
Change it.
So now it's finally Brandon Rogers, but yeah, for so long I was known as that, and very quickly I regretted that username. But I was already building somewhat of a following on it, so it's like, well,
Well,
I
it was
can't
before
start.
OnlyFans, so that wouldn't have been a good name for that. You had survival jobs though in the meantime before like fully hitting it. You have a connection
glad
to Hotel Cecil, right?
Cecil.
Cecil, thank you.
Cecil Hotel, where everyone dies.
Yes, I have a
How many people died
connection
there?
to that. A lot. There's actually a Netflix documentary,
Mm-hmm.
and as far as I know, they cover it pretty well.
Okay.
I watched it, and I remember thinking like, from what I knew about my involvement with that hotel, they got all those things right.
What was your involvement exactly?
I worked at a law firm at the time, and we were representing Elisa Lamb, who she blew up for. Like the internet knows her as the girl in the elevator. She was in an
Mhm.
elevator, and it looked like she was running away from someone. She was acting like there was someone coming after her, and
Mhm.
she's hiding behind and you can't, there's no sound, but she's like clearly talking to someone who's not there. The elevator doors don't close. She gets off the elevator doors close, and that's the last time she's seen. So
Was
it's
that the
like,
one that ended up in the water tower?
yeah,
That was her?
and they found her. I want to say it was like 2 weeks or several weeks later in a water tank.
That's why I don't go to downtown Los Angeles. It's just nothing good happens in downtown Los Angeles at night.
No, it's horrifying, and that working on that case really was quite a little bit mentally traumatic for me. It's a large reason
Really?
why I swam so quickly in the direction of comedy, because
But even with comedy, you kind of find the darker.
you find
side
darker,
of
but you're
it.
in control of that darkness at
Okay.
least. Her case, I was not in control of, and I had to meet her family, and I worked
Whoa.
with it, and it was just so sad because on one hand, it's this very fascinating internet story, but on the other hand, I'm working with, this is someone's daughter, someone's sister that passed away, and everyone's kind of looking at her at the time as like a gimmick, or even people are saying like, oh, she was into, like
Right, they fetishize.
like what she was into, or that she, so it just, I hated that I had this, like, I hated that side of it, because it is a fascinating case, but it's a very sad one.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was like the last thing I was working on before I left the law firm. And the case was still ongoing at the time when I left, so I don't know what became of it, but I had to climb up onto that water tank and document
Uh,
So my job was I did documentaries for the law firm to show the jury to be like to help kind of
Whoa.
emphasize the case. So like if you had an injury, I would do a documentary, a day in the life, very similar to the formats I ended up adopting with my YouTube
You didn't put
videos.
it to like creepy music or something too, did you? Or was it more like straightforward?
It's pretty
Okay,
straightforward.
you're not like
I think
editorializing.
I did make some stylistic choices, and they looked good. I wanted to. I even asked the client, and I think he gave me. I can't remember if he said yes or no, but I remember liking one so much. I asked the client if I could have the rights to use this as like, because at the time I was still looking for work, and I was still looking for, something that showcased I can edit, direct, film. I can have all
Right.
the equipment, and that done. And so those. I really did make them quite beautiful, actually. Now that I think some of them did have music, but it wasn't creepy music. It was like sad music, like
Yeah, I got you.
you know,
It's not over the top.
because almost everyone I would interview cried, and they would be more likely to cry. I learned if I kept the questions simpler, and I hated that I was like learning how to make people cry, and I would get them to cry because it would only help their case. Like it was for their
Yeah.
best interest. If the jury saw them in the interview, like
It's actually a
visit-
great training for comedy, though, is to know the opposite and like to be able to pull those contrasts as much as possible.
I learned very quickly you're always going to get a better question or better answer with a simpler question. So I would say like, what do you miss most about your life before the injury? That gives them the freedom to really think about, oh, I missed this, I missed this, I missed it. And they start going, and then they get up emotional. And I hated that I was even like, oh, good, I got them to cry, because it's like, what job is this where I'm trying to curate sadness?
Right.
It's like, no one needs an attorney when they're having a good day.
I think what you're kind of recounting here says something really interesting. The comedy that you touch on is often just so wild and foul and all over the place. And it feels like so much stuff is off limits. I mean, you share sets with porn studios. Like you do everything. It feels like anything goes. Like,
And sometimes we
I-
double book. Sometimes
often-
we have to wait for them to finish.
or don't, just put them in the background. But I often, like, when I describe you to people, I'm like, oh yeah, he'd have a primetime show on Comedy Central if they let him actually do whatever he wanted and didn't censor him. That's kind of how I think of you. But the way you just related that story is you really do have a lot of consideration as to how you curate the comedy, and some things really are off limits. I'm a boy from Central Florida, and I've always struggled to figure out like what is appropriate and what's not, what's off limits, and or what is maybe off limits unless you approach it from the right way. Did you have any struggles kind of where finding that line was, or did you always have a pretty decent compass in that capacity? Because you seem very considerate.
Well, I honestly think everyone in my immediate family, they're comedians, or at least they can appreciate a good joke. So comedy was very much, and it never was at the expense of like, let's make fun of someone. Because I got picked on a lot, and there was me getting picked on at school, and then us making jokes about dark situations at home. And there were two different breeds of the, like
Yeah.
we would be
It's
making
kind of like the workshop phase.
kind of like I have the kind of family where we make jokes on the way to a fucking funeral. You know what I mean? Like so I knew how to laugh, and I knew also what the receiving end of a different form of humor where you laugh at someone, because I was going to school and just getting picked on.
Yeah.
And so it sucked because I could understand and appreciate good comedy. And some of the people that were picking on me at school had some really clever quips. I would even almost laugh at some of the things they'd say because it was good, and because it was true. They'd say things about me. I'm like, and like middle school kids are the worst, most poetic villains of they just know how to tear you to the core, because they're kids who are honest, but then they've grown up enough to understand how to turn that honesty into a weapon.
And you're not allowed to cuss in class, so they got to get creative. They got to find some real nifty visuals.
The kids who picked on me were creative. I will hand them that. They were quite poetic.
But you learned early on what the mean side of it felt like. I think I made the mistake of just trying to turn it on other people. So I tried to learn it and weaponize it myself. Whereas it sounds like you really like allowed yourself to feel it, and you decided you didn't want to make anyone else feel that way, especially lawyers, chefs, accountants, surgeons.
So yeah, I don't piss off any of those. They could all team up and fuck me over in one day. But
I think that's a really important thing, though, especially for like, again, I've designed this entire show to be a guide for 16-year-old Max. And I think that's a really important thing to kind of touch on. If like, has there been any filter that you put things through when you're writing a joke or crafting a story as to like,
I think
because as far as you go with things, I don't think you've ever gotten even close to being, quote, canceled.
No, and
Like,
honestly, like the humor always comes from a place of what's funny. Like I've never
mm,
tried to convince anyone that like, oh yeah, isn't this person or this group of people or anything like that? Isn't this? It's never come from a place of negativity,
mhm,
And because ever since I was a kid, like that the shit that would make my brother and I laugh in the backseat of a car on a road trip, like it's not the same jokes, but it comes from the same place in the heart to this day when I
mm,
do comedy. And I've never I don't know. Like in my videos, I've always tried like showcasing a group of people that are as different as possible, but are as funny as possible. And
okay.
I don't know. I've always believed comedy is such a medicine, and it sucks. Over the last 10 years, I've seen every which way people can take comedy and use it as so much of the opposite thing to
Yeah.
just make someone feel bad.
Are you ever
And
having like a bad day and you feel your comedy getting a little mean or a little bitey or a little?
not really. I do get very sarcastic if I'm in a bad mood,
Yeah.
and people think I'm joking. But for me, it's like a reflex when I'm angry or when
Mm,
I'm scared or upset. I go to comedy. It's like a very I can't help it. Like same with my family. Like my
yeah.
grandpa, I remember when he was angry, he'd be like, "Shit or get off the pot, you fucking asshole," and like it just
Yeah.
very like he would become a poet still through his anger. And but it was I don't know. It was never like we all kind of agreed growing up that just bullying is wrong. And because I've been bullied since
Mhm,
I think the earliest memory I have of getting picked on, I must have been in the second grade, was at 7 years old.
yeah.
So ever since then, my family's always been very like hyper aware of humor that can make someone else feel bad. That's
Okay.
not to say we weren't laughing all the time at everything else.
That's really great. I was raised with the one rule was you can fight as long as you're not the one throwing the first punch. So it was almost
Yeah.
encouraged to be mean and cutting and bait someone into crossing the line first. So I think that was a big
Oh.
thing that I had to unlearn because, like, when I would get drunk and get in a mood, I was quick, I was smart, I could piss off a redneck. So let's move on to burnout here because that's kind of in the same vein.
Mhm.
Keeping up with yourself is tough. How do you
Mm.
handle the urge to top your last viral hit while keeping your comedy integrity intact? Like there's so much demand for content all the time. How do you keep yourself from just making garbage or just chasing likes or
This is a life lesson I'm learning very now-ish because
mm,
only recently have I started doing cons frequently, and the more I do them, I'm just meeting so many fans, and they tell me what they like about my, uh, you know, from my career, and so much of it is from now, and so much of it is from 10 years ago. So much, and it just taught me that like take your time on a project. Don't
yeah.
rush it because people will remember it forever. They're not going to remember when it came out, how long it took. Just take your time on something, make sure it's right. Like so many of my projects, like some of them that they say, "Oh, I love this thing you made like 6 years ago," and I think to myself, "Damn, I was rushing that video. Like if I just took a day or two on it, I would have had a better project, and they still would have come up to me today." And say, there's a fear
Wild
that
because I've actually had a problem with that, whereas I feel like the algorithms and the way it's set up is that they want maybe not YouTube as much, but they want stuff that can just be out and expire quickly and move on to the next, and you don't treat it as disposable at all.
no, I think rewatchability has it's a really powerful um, element to a video because
Right? Because if
I'll
someone sees a video of yours that goes viral now, they'll go down and rewatch all
yeah,
of the later ones.
and I'll just be random, like just every so often a video from like a long time ago will blow up, and
Mhm.
I'll have a massive spike in subscriber count and revenue, and I'm like, what the fuck, where's this? And then you look at your most, and it's like, oh, this thing I shot 6 years ago. Like, thank God I cared about it then. Thank God I made something that I really truly cared about because
Mhm.
people can find it. And a lot of my stuff doesn't refer to current events either. I don't like stuff because that
Yeah.
expires too. If you refer to
Keep it
like
evergreen.
yeah, keeping it evergreen. If I do refer to pop culture, it's usually something pretty timeless, like Pinocchio. So if a remake of something comes out, or like another Harry Potter movie or Star Wars, then it's like
Mhm.
okay, we can parody that because everyone that there's a
It's
timelessness
part of
to
the
that.
canon. Yeah.
Yeah, but if it's like a current event or I really don't, unless it's like a massive current event. I don't really because I do think it anchors the video to the past, and I'm glad that a lot of my stuff from back then they were about just everyday people, like a little kid or a hall monitor or these are just
Yeah.
things that, and that's another, going back to Mad TV, like when I was growing up, I love that they had characters that weren't tied to, because wouldn't watch SNL as a kid because I didn't understand half the jokes. Like, because
Really?
they were,
Oh,
because
because
it
they're
was
also topical and
also
politically
topical.
real. Yeah.
But then Mad TV, it's like you have Lorraine going, oh, and you're just like, I get it. Like, you
Yeah.
don't need to. So I that was a big influence. I liked that, and I like any show where you could just tune in, like The Simpsons. You never have to see a previous episode, and so
the
that's,
absurdist
yeah,
model where it starts the way it ends.
I ingested a lot of
I love
comedy
that.
growing up, and I do think by the time I started making comedy, I knew very well what I wanted people to take away with as an experience when they were done watching me.
I feel like people in, like, I'm going to say higher level, higher budget media are always so starved for good stories that they're always combing through the past for things that have this kind of cult appeal. Like, they're looking for novels, they're looking for movies that were popular, they can, like, do it again, make it a Broadway show. I have a feeling that a lot of your content from years and years ago, because you did it with such a level of quality and completeness, that maybe in even a decade or two from now, people are going to be discovering and being like, let's reboot the shit out of that. And we're going to see like a $20 million version of Blame the Hero. I think that that's going to be something that happens for you. I'm calling it here.
My biggest hope is that I'm the one who decides to fund that project. I want to be the
Yeah.
one signing those checks one day and saying, oh, I'll reboot it when I feel like it. I would love that. I mean, honestly, the world has already become so much more of what I could have hoped it would have been as a younger person.
Yeah.
20-year-old me, 2009, making YouTube videos. If I could have told myself that, like, in the future, what you're doing now will be way more valuable than even now. Because making videos, 15 years ago, it felt like it's like a hobby or you're wasting time. Now, look we're doing it for a living, and so I can only imagine in another 10 years how important content creation can be. And I'm happy that I got my foot in the game early when I was a kid.
Yeah. You're the Simone Biles. You started when you were 8 years old. You were trained. You've been doing this forever. Let's move on to Has Been Hotel, because you have an episode coming out soon that you wrote.
Helluva Boss.
Helluva Boss, excuse me.
Yeah.
Has Been Hotel is in the same universe.
It's in the same universe, and I am on both shows, but Helluva Boss is the one that I'm more involved with. Helluva Boss episode, the Halloween episode is coming out, I think, toward the beginning of October. So I don't know if this is aired yet or not, but whether or not it is something I wrote. I feel I went through like 7 drafts of this episode. I feel very passionate about it, and and I'm pretty sure I'm allowed to say it features John Waters as the bad guy. And so,
oh, that was the John Waters thing.
Yeah, I've been sitting on that secret for so long.
We went to the John Waters Museum together a few months ago,
which was so great. That was.
I'm glad I got to experience it with you. I don't think it would have been the same experience without someone who had all of like the knowledge and the context. It was like a tour guide / fanboy experience going with you. It was so nice.
Oh, I had a great time. Yeah, thank you for coming with me to that. By the way, he's been such a inspiration to me. Just the way he writes for his characters, for his actors, the way he creates this world of absurdity. Like, he taught me a lot about absurd dialogue. There's like a genius to the way his characters talk, but they all sound like they're 2-year-olds. They kind of have like childlike logic behind them. And anyway, he taught me a lot about what you can get away with as a filmmaker.
It's like an innocence that contrasts kind of the darker themes that usually underlie everything.
Yeah, there's like a childness to the fucked upness of his work. And anyway, he just came out of the woodwork with such a distinct brand, and I don't want to be like him, but I want to be like him in the sense that I want to be just as unique and kind of like culty as he. You know what I mean? Like, I love that he has this very culty queer following, and so far I think we overlap with a lot of people who watch our stuff, because if you see the line of people I get at conventions, it's all like neon hair and piercings and fucking eyeliner to death.
You could say that John Waters walked so that you could run.
I don't think kind of. I mean, he definitely. I'd say
because he was very similar, like in the way that he implemented like queer characters and storylines in a way that wasn't shoved down your throat.
I would even
but
argue
it definitely
that,
made you think differently about things.
I would say that he ran so I could walk. I mean, like he,
Fair.
I think at this point in his career, what am I, 35, 30? I'm just turned fucking 36. I think at this point, he was already making, I don't know, but he's pretty successful at this point. But anyway, yeah, no, he's a big inspiration of mine, and it felt very full circle to be able to be involved with him on a project. And not only that, there's a lot of other talented people in this particular episode that me from back home would be shitting bricks if I knew that
Yeah.
I'd be working with. So, um, yeah, Hell of a Boss. Really, it's the first time I felt like a real. That's another milestone thing. We're talking about
Yep.
milestones. That's another one where I felt like I've made it. Was just being on like a real show. And then Has Been, which is now an Amazon series. Like, driving past the billboard on Hollywood Boulevard, right where my Magic Funhouse one used to be, seeing the Has Been billboard, going like, "Oh damn!" Like, there's another one. It wasn't my face, but it was my show, and it was cool to be a part of that.
I had a similar
Um,
feeling. I got two billboards up on Sunset Boulevard. One was
I rem-
neither of those was I wearing a shirt though. So I still have like a bar that I want to hit where I get a billboard where I'm wearing a shirt.
where you are, where they see less of you.
Well, one was a swimwear thing for To Exist, and Sarge was a puppy, and they put him in the basket of my bicycle. That was really great. That was his first campaign. And then the
Um,
other one was Tom Ford. It was supposed to be uh, an underwear campaign, but we had to like go. The casting was like 10 dudes only, and Tom Ford was in the room, and you go into like a private area with Tom, and you have to show him your butt because it was like like fully nude but implied.
mm.
So I booked the job. I think I was just cracking jokes about like putting my butt on Instagram, and he thought it was funny. And he had me lay like fully naked with my head in Christian Hogue, the model's lap.
Oh wow.
It was like a daddy vibe thing.
Wait,
He was wearing
is
underwear.
he a porn? What is Christian?
No,
I
he's
don't
just a
know.
very high-end
Oh,
model.
okay.
Very, very famous model. I think he's a dad, lives in like Newport or something. But Tom like took his watch off that he was wearing, put it on Christian, like draped it over my back so that the billboard is just like my butt with a watch draped over.
Oh my God.
So I don't think that I've quite made it in the sense of like I made it for the reasons that I've wanted to yet, but it was close. I feel you on that.
Hey, people had to drive by you on their way to work.
Yeah.
So I wonder, like, how many people drove by you after like killing someone, or who
Ooh.
after I
Or
don't
hooking up
know.
with me.
Or yeah, or just like someone wait, did it have? You said it had your face in it, or was it just
It was
these?
like the side of my face, but it was very much more about the butt. It was like the top half of the butt to like my forehead, pretty much. And then Christian Hoag's like his face was more in it.
What
Like it
if
was
someone was
like
looking at it and got in a car accident? What if, even if they weren't looking at it, what if your billboard saw someone get in a car wreck? And I could be asking myself
you
that.
worked
I
at a law
never
firm. Who's
thought about
responsible there?
that.
Who's
How many like
culpable? Is it Tom?
accidents did I watch? Huh?
Who would be culpable for that? You're the law expert more than me.
I don't fucking know.
Mm.
All I know is that when I got
Just
a
sue 'em
billboard,
all.
I stood out in front of it for an hour, and everyone who came to a red light, I'd make them roll down the window, and I would point it. I say, "You know who that is?"
But you're in like full ass makeup too, right? No, it
No,
was just okay. I don't think I saw them at the. When
Uh,
was it?
it was wait, the billboard?
Yeah.
Oh, this was back in 2017. 2017.
Okay. Yeah, I think I was in New York at that point. Is there anything else that you're working on that you really hope that people will go and check out as soon as they're done listening to this podcast?
By the time they're done listening to this, there should be a show called Class Acts that is completed. We're currently shooting episodes 7 and 8 of 8, and so at this time there's 6 episodes out, but hopefully when this drops, they'll all be. So, anyways, yes, there's an 8-episode web series
On your
somewhere
YouTube channel.
on my YouTube channel.
Great.
Yeah, that you should watch. It's a fun one. It stars me, and it's written by me, and it's about acting and making video. It's just about what I know. That's like
All right.
it's just a series about LA actors, and you can cut all this. I don't know why I'm going on about.
Nope, we're not cutting anything. You're
Okay.
a gem.
Circumcise it.
Thank you so much for being on this show. I really, 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 really appreciate you making time. I know how swamped you are.
Oh my God, swamped! You Florida boys saying swamped.
Yeah. Well, I know how you
That's
feel about alligators, and I wanted to conjure something
I don't
visceral.
trust them. And I saw
I
one
respect
run on a
that.
YouTube.
They can go 30 miles an hour,
30 miles an hour.
but they can't run in like they can only run in a straight line. So you're actually safe. Just zigzag, and you're good. I actually talk about this in an Ask Me Anything video. It was people want to know.
Oh my God, Florida. It's just it's a place you really gotta be ready for anything.
Yeah.
I am ready for anything when I go to Florida. Oh, I'll be in Tampa maybe around the time this drops. So
Tampa, look out.
Tampa, look out. Look for me. I don't know what I'm doing there. I'm signing something, I think.
We like to end this show every single time on a low note with a segment called Fight Me.
Oh, here we go.
Brandon has been provided a list of controversial topics. He has selected one of the topics, his stance on the topic, and whether or not he wants to go first.
Yeah,
what have you
I'll go
picked?
first. What was it? Oh, fuck me. It was queer go to hell.
Are gay people going to hell?
Homo hell.
Are gay people going to hell?
Gay people. Yes.
Are
I
gay
hope
people
so.
going to hell? So are
Yes.
we going to hell?
Yes.
Okay, 60 seconds.
Okay, we are going to hell, and that's fine. It is warm down there, and heaven. Do you realize how cold it is? And airplanes are freezing, and you're insulated, so you can imagine how cold it is outside. And also, I don't think they allow butt stuff in heaven.
Okay.
So I'm definitely. Also, I really want to. I really, really, really want to go to hell because I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure most of my family is going to be down there waiting for me, at least the ones I care to spend eternity with. And also, I don't think they allow drugs in heaven. How many more seconds do we have left?
If you think you've made your point, you're good.
Hookers and they probably have Walmart in hell
Hookers,
too.
butt stuff, Walmart.
Hookers, butt stuff, Walmart.
Probably the
I'm
24-hour ones.
They probably have the 24, and
Yeah.
they probably have 24-hour fitness. I am definitely going to hell.
I believe it's Planet Fitness in hell.
I believe in heaven. They probably have they probably have what, Olive Garden?
Mm,
I hope they're not a sponsor of yours.
that's your time. All right, so I respect your opinion. I love you as a person, but you could not possibly be more wrong, more uninformed, frankly, ignorant.
Yep.
And I think you've been brainwashed by just the world at large. This whole conception that all the gay people are going to hell and it's going to be the party down there, that's not how it works. We're all going to be in heaven. And yes, it will be delightfully air conditioned. If you're cold, put on some socks. But you know, the floor is kind of slippery, so you can just like slide around everywhere as if you like just mopped like a tile floor. Awesome. Contrary to popular belief, heaven is all butt sex. It's all butt sex.
Yeah, but
And
the
the people
holes
that-
are probably diseased.
Possibly, but those get transferred down to the people in hell. So all the conservative people are in hell, and they have to watch the people up there having butt stuff, and then they have to pay for it with the STIs. But that's not my point. I think that all of us are going to heaven with the dogs, and you can actually, gay people have like a higher status in heaven in that you can add people to the list. So it's up to us as to who else gets in. So you can bring your family. And I hope that's comforting for you, unless you want them to stay in hell. That's on you. That's my time.
I just want to say, re a little bit of time open. I'm gonna drag your dog to hell. Close time. All right.
Well, we're going to have to agree to disagree. Thank you so much, Brandon.
Thank you. Bing bong bang.
Brandon, tell them what happens if you don't give us a 5-star rating.
Max is gonna find you, dox you, and take your kids.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Stuff Every Queer Kid Should Know. This is a Wellness Loud production produced by Drake Peterson and Jake Wachtel. Additional production by Cass Falding and Chantilly Toison. The episode was recorded by Jason Siegel, Mun Singh, edited by Jesse Trout, and mixed by Mike Fry. Music by Tom Goss. If you like this show, don't forget to share it with your friends, subscribe on your preferred channel, or all of them, and give us a 5-star rating. It would be super, super helpful. Thank you so much to all my Patreon subscribers. You are credited in the show notes. Thank you for listening. See you next time.